So we are today taking a portrait, and it's going to be on metal.
Yes,
correct?
on
So,
tin.
yeah.
Back in the day, it was considered, I guess it was called tin, but it's technically iron, and it's like a ferrous metal, so it's magnetic. But modern day tintypes are actually shot on aluminum, so you'll be getting an aluminum plate because aluminum is a lot, I guess, easier to come by. I don't know exactly why we stopped using tin, but I think it was just a sort of a, not a scarcity thing, but more of a, it's just convenient. So, aluminum is more convenient.
Okay. So as far as the cameras now, like with these older cameras, I know back in the day they used to have the light bulb holding it and the exposure. Is that what this camera is? Or?
So it can be used for that. You're thinking of the magnesium powder flash, which I would love to do, but I also don't want to blow my hand off.
Yes.
So I use a modern flash, which is kind of funny because it kind of creates that same sound effect because there's a lot of light that comes to you because I shoot with about 10,000 watts. And it's just like, poof, and it's kind of cool when it happens. It's just like, oh, it's warming and it's relaxing, that's what I like to say because sometimes I forget how bright it is. But anyways, old school magnesium powder flash, this camera can technically take those types of photos. If anything, it still is kind of. But I don't know how old this camera is. I'm assuming it's probably 80s or 90s, but yeah, this is a more modern 8x10 large format camera. But there are older ones still being sold. They still make these. They're just all painted black, and either they're made of like aluminum or, I think mostly like aluminum or like I don't know what that metal's called, but yeah, something like carbon fiber. Okay. Yeah, carbon fiber. And I like the wooden ones. Yeah. They're nice.
It's beautiful. It's just so neat and amazing to see that something that has aged so well is still in use.
Yeah. I think primarily I think the oldest thing that I work with would be like the lens itself, because that lens is from 1863, early 1860s as far as I know. Serial number indicates it was 1863. And it's a big barrel lens. It's like one of the more sought after lenses for this process. It was like a top lens back in the day when they would actually shoot these types of portraits. And I just think it's such a beautiful and interesting part of history that I get to use every single day, just to capture portraits and just to really see people through this particular old antique. So yeah.
Well, let's get started.
Yeah. A little makeshift darkroom.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like I upgraded my darkroom light to a darkroom roof, and it works wonderful.
Oh, great.
It's so nice. It's so nice. So, this is the plate that I'm going to be photographing you guys on. And peel the plastic off. It's just it's got a black enamel over it. And this is the liquid film. Sometimes it gets a little dirty. That goes over it, called collodion. A little bit more. And you just gotta rock it back and forth. Basically, this is just sort of a emulsion that holds the silver nitrate in place, and it helps sensitize the plate,
It's a nice smell too.
Oh yeah, it's ether, various alcohols. It's just, that's what it is. And some people say it smells like a doctor's office. That's fine. Whatever people feel comfortable with describing this. But yeah, it's mostly that smell that people always recognize. They're like, oh, there's a photographer in the house doing something, and I'm like, yeah, it's the darkroom smell. It's the ether. Like, you can really. It's got a very distinct aroma.
Yeah. It smells like the community uses like prosthetic.
Yeah.
Mustaches.
Yeah, kind of similar to that.
How do you know about that?
Because as a child, my Halloween costumes were unique.
Very unique.
Very unique smell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright.
But yeah, so it's gonna be about 3 minutes before that's ready. I can show you guys. I can pull out a couple of these old tintypes from around.
So we're gonna stand. This is our backdrop. So I have to tell you, my family, my parents, my brother, myself, Well, when my parents started dating, they started taking like those old-fashioned tiny photos.
Yeah.
And so we have when my dad was single, when my parents were dating, when my parents got engaged, when they're married, then when I came along as a baby, then as a young girl, and then when my brother came along, we did one when he was 2.
Wow.
And then we did one when he was like 16. And
Yeah.
then we've gotten married. We did one when we were dating. And then my brother and sister-in-law came to the picture, and then my parents had their first granddaughter. So we have one of that. So my parents have a whole wall of
That is so cool.
and I just absolutely love them. I think there's just something so beautiful of just even being able to have something that's, you know, that they've been doing for over what?
Yeah,
100
like hundreds.
years?
Like I think it was about 100. So it was the process was first utilized in I think 1849, 1850 by Frederick Scott Archer. I don't know the exact year, but it's around that time. And anyways, they were originally shooting on ambrotypes, which I'm glad you asked because this is an original ambrotype from that era.
Wow.
And anyways, if you wanted to actually hold it up to the light, or actually I will. You can see the reverse.
Wow. It's like a what are they?
Negative.
Yeah.
Like the negatives or the little the slides.
Yeah, it's like that. So yeah, so ambrotypes are originally put to use. So I guess glass was originally what they shot on first before they shot on tin. And then they realized, okay, tin or iron is a lot easier to transport, so they started photographing people on that, like in the late 1850s, mid to late 1850s, and then it kind of existed all the way until like the late 1870s, and then there was dry plate, and then there was other photographic processes that became popular, or also early predecessors to film. But I think before tintypes, it was daguerreotypes, and that's a very, very dangerous process because it involves mercury. So
No, you don't want that.
But yeah, like when I found this guy, I just thought it was like such a really cool and interesting piece to have because it has the original frame on it. It's got the original glass, like, and it's like, I don't know if it's like a sepia glass or ruby glass. I think it's like more of a brown color, but it's just so pretty and it's so warm. And with original tintypes, they would hand make the emulsion, like the black enamel that went onto the iron before they would take a photograph. So it had this warmer color. That's why a lot of tintypes back in that time had this warmer color. So I can show you one of those. So this one is you can see like how thin the metal is.
Yes.
Like it's very, very thin, and you can sort of see how warm it is, like that look, that warmish like tone that comes with a lot of older tintypes, and it's so pretty. But you can see it was hand poured. It's just so old, and it's just so interesting to see.
So do you know who these people are? Or
No.
These are just
These are just
photos
random
you found?
photos I find. I just found it striking in particular because it was just a father and his 2 daughters, I'm assuming. Normally it's like a family portrait. I don't know where the mother is, so I don't know. But it was just really interesting. Whenever I scanned it, I could zoom in and see like all the details that are picked up. So
That is
yeah.
amazing.
Because there's like with this photographic process, it's very high resolution. It's just, if you think about the sensors on normal DSLR cameras, like it's like a tiny sensor, like, and the entire back of that camera is the sensor, if that makes sense. But it's insane. The resolution and all of the details picked up is just really, really intriguing. But yeah, like everything that I capture on this camera is upside down and backwards. So if she's standing right there, you can actually see like how she looks. Obviously, yeah, it's just upside down and backwards. You can see the depth of field, like it's very narrow. But yeah, it is so wild just to know
You can
those
see
subjects.
I can see my shadow, and there's several
It's like several like reflections. But
several reflections. Yes.
because there's several different layers of glass on that lens too.
Okay. Okay, Jamie, come over here and
She wants
stand
to
here.
see
I
it.
want
She
to
wants
see
to
this
see it.
part.
Yeah.
It's
Upside down and backwards.
Oh, wow.
And obviously he's further away, so I just zoom in a little bit, It's like Obviously, I'll be adjusting the lights
Yeah.
and all that stuff, but yeah, you can just kind of see how it renders, and it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Like, and the closer you are, like the more depth of field that like it just gets more narrow, and it just creates that beautiful bokeh effect. that
Just look
these
at the
lenses are known
color,
for.
like
Yeah, I don't know, something about the quality of it.
Mhm.
There's no like degradation of quality.
Right, exactly. Like that's what I think is just so cool about these types of photographs.
so great. All right,
So I'm gonna go ahead and grab that
Yeah.
plate really quick, and then we can go ahead and take a photo.
sounds good.
I think I'm gonna put you up on that box.
I'm short. I know.
I think it's just a little small. I think just this much. Let's try that one, and yeah, just kind of squeeze together. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, yeah, there's still a height difference, but that's a lot better. And if you want to come forward just a little bit, just right it just like that. I do a lot of directing. There we go. It's like 90% of my job is just moving these things around. It's like, okay.
I love photography. I always wanted to get into
Like large format,
but I just I love architecture. So
Oh,
I love
nice.
textures. I love like taking pictures of that. But I don't like I have a digital I have a DSLR camera
Yeah.
and I don't know how to use it. I'm like auto and just
Auto click,
I
and that's
know.
fine. Like, alright, and I have you guys in perfect focus, so just stay like that. I want you guys close together. And just go ahead and hold that for me. I'm going to go ahead and cover the lens now with the lens cap, so this is the time to be perfectly still. So there's that. I'll hold it away from the camera. There we go. It's going in. And just keep remaining still for me. Y'all are doing great. And on the count of 4 Mississippis, I'm going to fire the flash. Starting now. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. There we go.
hopefully I didn't blink.
I've never heard anyone blink.
Okay.
Here's why. What's fun about this process is that the lights, it captures the brightest point in in which the image is created. Like the brightest, I guess, when the light flashes, that's what it captures.
Yeah, your reaction time's not pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like no one's eyes are faster than the speed of light. Wow. So I'm going to develop this really quick, and then I'll bring it right out to you guys so y'all can actually see the final process. And I do apologize for the light being very bright.
No, it's fine. It wasn't too bad. I thought it was gonna be worse. That was fun. What'd you think, Jamie? Your eyes hurt?
No.
Want your glasses? You can see.
So here's what I'm going to do. So you can record this part of the process too. Obviously, here is the negative image here.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
It's pretty wild looking, without the fixer on it.
So, look at this. We look a little scary. You look like. Your white hairs and your chin are dark. No, I look scary.
Me too. Actually, I'll do it right here. This is
Okay.
perfect right here. Oh yeah. Here we go.
Wow.
You can see it slowly transform here. It's pretty wild.
Oh wow.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is amazing.
Oh yeah. I love this lens.
That wow. I don't think we're going to hire any other photographer.
No,
I
you
think
guys
this
look
is
phenomenal.
phenomenal.
And what's really cool about this part of the process is that back then they used potassium cyanide. And anyways, if they're, let's say if they're well, I guess their fixer was cyanide, so they would use their cyanide fixer because there was no such thing as a modern fixer back in the day. And anyway, if it touched the developer that they were using, like there's a certain chemical reaction that happens, and what happens is that if you didn't properly rinse the developer off your plate, and that cyanide touches it, it creates a deadly cyanide gas. But I use sodium thiosulfate, so it's a lot safer. That's the modern equivalent, so I don't have to worry about that. But on both TV shows, I also did Bass Reeves as well, or I worked on Bass Reeves.
I saw those ones.
Yeah, we ended up using cyanide for all of those shots too, because
Wow.
we were just like it's also like a quicker fixer.
Okay.
So we can like quickly like adjust things if needed, but yeah. That is so cool.
So what's the second?
Oh, this is just water. I'm
Okay.
actually gonna go run it under the sink here in a minute, but yeah, it's just to sort of agitate the plate a little bit, get that fixer off, just kind of like get, any sort of chemical residue off of it.
Oh, that picture is beautiful.
It's so beautiful. You guys did so well.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
So gorgeous.
It's not bad for a lens from the 1860s. I mean, my God, like, yeah, I love how it renders portraits, and it's also just a way that people recognize themselves more with this process because you're seeing a mirror image of yourself. And it's just pretty wild that, in digital photographs, people don't recognize themselves as much as they do on, like,
Yeah.
something as old as this. But yeah, no, this is remarkable.
That came out so good. I love that picture. Now, what's the largest size you can do like this?
So I shoot 8x10. So
Okay.
that's the largest size that I do, but what's funny is that I want to upgrade, well, not upgrade, I just want to add 16x20 to my arsenal. But that's like a whole nother thing. I have to get like an entirely different darkroom setup. I have to get like a different camera, all
Yeah.
that stuff. But I did shoot some 16x20s on Buddy's camera, which that's a 16x20 right there. That I shot, I think, back in January. But yeah, like, it's just super cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, but, the 8x10 is the largest size, but honestly, I think the whole plate is my favorite size. And sometimes I talk people down into, they're like, oh, we'll get the 8x10. I said, just get the whole plate instead.
Yeah, it's like perfect size.
It is, like, I love the aspect ratio. I love how it's a little bit more intimate, with the 8x10, like, I'd have to get a little bit closer because I can still get it. It's just that it's not as fun. Like,
Yeah.
I love the smaller sizes.
So as far as displaying this in a home, like how do we keep it? Do we put it in a frame? Put it in
So you can put it in a frame if you like. Just make sure that there's nothing that's actually touching the tintype, because
Okay.
I do varnish it, and the varnish
Okay.
does come out hard and dry, but if there's anything touching it, I'm afraid of it might getting stuck, But yeah, if there's like any sort of light matting to just sort of hold like a piece of glass above it, then that's fine.
So what'd you think? Did you like our picture?
Looks really good.
I think it's absolutely beautiful. I would love to get on this big.
Doing this like every day, like I always get excited whenever I, see portraits whenever they're fixing, because it's just so sometimes I get surprised. Like I just get excited every day seeing it because it's like sometimes I can't tell what an image is going to look like until I fix it. So it's like interesting chemical anomalies happen. Sometimes nothing shows up. Sometimes things in the silver bath get affected and it like creates a cloud over the image. Like there's just all these things all these variables that can affect an image. But that's why I just get excited whenever it comes out so good. I mean, it comes out good. Like I've been doing this for a while, so I don't really mess around with mistakes too much. But yeah, no, this is beautiful.
So if you put it like to the does light come through the bath?
Oh no,
No,
it's just solid.
Solid. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
And any light part that you're seeing is just silver. Like it's just an image made of silver.
so cool. I'm so glad.
I'm glad you guys did too. Like I like introducing this process to a lot of people, and people who tend to appreciate photography and in this art form. Like I always get excited to meet people like that, just because it's like, oh, it's another person that like actually loves this. So it's like, yeah.
I know we were just talking. I'm like, we need to get a picture of his parents, my parents, your grandparents.
I've done a lot of I've done a couple of family sessions in the past where they would all just come in and they would just take in the process, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, Grandpa, get over here.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun just to see like everyone's reaction and their joy whenever they see the plate being finalized or I guess fixed, and it's just it just makes me feel good knowing that I captured them in their best, like I get them in the mood to take a portrait, and yeah, it's just so cool. It's just so cool.
Well, I'll tell you, you have a gift. Yeah,
Oh, thank
you have
you.
a
Thank
true
you.
gift. I love that you are keeping this art alive because
Yes.
it's it's something that people even younger than me have no idea exists. So
Yeah, like you'd be surprised how many people I talk to that do not know of this type of photography. They don't know anything about it. It's just all digital and film. And I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of an earlier predecessor to film,
Yes.
so it's like it's a little older. But I love it that I got into this whenever I did, because there's nobody in Fort Worth doing this to this level now, because I started in 2018 and here I am like in 2024 still doing it, still being busy, still shooting events and just introducing people to this art form, and I'm thankful for that. So yeah,
thank you so much.
you're very welcome.
Okay, Jamie. Well, we did our picture.
Yes.
What'd you think?
That was really cool.
Yeah, wasn't that a fun experience? Just something different. I am so excited. That picture is just beautiful. I think it just captured all of not my wrinkles, but my face at this age. You did not wear your glasses because there's a little issue with glasses, but I think it just I got to see your face, and it captures just the beauty of your face.
Thank you.
Yes, because you're very handsome. And I'm not just saying that because it's our anniversary weekend. You're very handsome.
Stop.
He doesn't like when I tell him that, and this is going on YouTube, so yeah.
Only Robbie
Yeah.
gets to see it.
Okay. So, would you recommend this to somebody who's interested in having a professional portrait done?
Yeah, I would. I like we had said, we're looking at doing it for my parents
My parents?
and my grandparents.
Yes.
I think it'll be cool.
Yeah.
I think they'll like it. I know your parents will love it.
Yes.
I know my parents will love it, and then Nani and Blue, they're gonna like that a lot too.
Yeah. I just have to tell them all that when they all die, that comes to me in their will.
Yeah.
That's all I want, is those pictures of them.